Hey guys, today's video is going to be very different. I have obviously been taking a break on YouTube a little bit because of all of the recent things that have been going on, and honestly I don't have the biggest audience on YouTube anyway. If you guys want to see more of like my thoughts and like what I've been talking about, please feel free to go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And if you guys don't have a Twitter, I would actually highly recommend getting a Twitter because there's actually a lot of like news and videos and stuff like that that is going on Twitter that people are posting and sharing that is actually a lot more informative than the news. So it's honestly like the main way that I stay informed. If you've been following me for a long time, then this video should come as no surprise to you. But I don't expect everyone to be following me on all of my social medias and like see every single story. So I mean, if this does come as a surprise to you, I just want to say that this is like something that I have like talked about for over a decade. I have been talking about, you know, like racism, sexism, homophobia, all these kind of social justice issues. So today I'm going to talk about why vegans should be talking about Black Lives Matter and other social justice issues. There have been so many people lately, people, influencers, heads of organizations, people who are organizing vegan events, vegan companies, etc., who have basically been saying that vegans shouldn't be talking about Black Lives Matter and they shouldn't be talking about other social justice issues that are not about animals because it's not focused on animals. And I just want to say that I do not agree with that. I think that we really should be talking about more than just animal rights and veganism, because if you look at the animal rights and veganism, the whole movement, obviously there are so many people that are involved in this movement. There are so many people from different walks of life, and honestly we really like need to be caring about those issues too because they involve all of us. So I want to say that me as a white woman, I do face sexism like pretty much on a daily basis. So if I can see that this is something wrong that I deal with, and I can go outside, and most of the time when I'm walking somewhere I will get harassed. If it's not just like a slight comment, you know, maybe sometimes like people have followed me, gotten close to me, tried to touch me, etc., etc. So this is something that I personally deal with on a almost day-to-day basis when I'm going outside. If I'm posting on the internet, this is also something that like I can deal with. So if I know that me myself, I am facing discrimination due to my gender without experiencing it, I can see and understand that people are experiencing other issues due to something that they are, whether it be their skin color or their ethnicity or their sexuality or their gender identity, whether they are non-binary or trans, etc. So if I can see that as a white woman, then I know that a lot of people out there can also understand. I know that people can understand on some basis that yes, people are going through some sort of oppression due to something that they cannot control. Most people can get that, and that's one of the reasons why we should be talking about other issues that are not just about animal rights. And I do want to say that like just because I care about animal rights does not mean that I do not care about other issues, and I think that other people are the same way, and if not, I think that they should be the same way because I care about animal rights. Obviously I do not expect everyone to be vegan or to be cruelty-free. My way of being more inviting into the community, like I just don't expect anything of anyone. If people want to do it, cool, but in the community there are so many people and we need to be like speaking up for them, because honestly if people want veganism to work in the long run, we need to be more open and inviting as a community and not brush off people and their feelings and their thoughts about the movement, because in the long run it's going to have to work for everyone. So going forward on my channel, things are gonna look a lot different. I know that the vegan and cruelty-free products are like pretty limited already, but honestly some of these brands who have been doing like all lives matter or like one black square on their Instagram page and like not doing anything else, or not saying Black Lives Matter but instead saying something like everyone is important. Like, I am going to be looking at those brands who are kind of just brushing off the movement, and I'm not going to be featuring those brands who have done absolutely nothing or have seemed to have done harm. So if you notice going forward, I already don't support brands that are really considered to be problematic, but going forward I'm really going to cut down on the number of brands that I feature due to, you know, the people who have been speaking up about these brands, and just from my own personal observations and interactions with the brands. There are a lot of great brands out there who have been posting on their social media, and they have also been really good behind the scenes as well, which you guys don't get to see. But there's a lot of great brands who basically have been taking a pause with our content that we are, I guess, required to post. I want to keep obviously supporting those brands, but so yeah, if you guys notice like a shift in content and I'm not supporting certain brands all of a sudden, that's why. I have also featured several Black-owned brands on my channel before on my Instagram page. There are some Black-owned brands that I use consistently. One of them is Colored Rain. I've been using them like since they started coming out with products. There's other, I'm going to try to like incorporate more Black-owned brands into my everyday purchases, but I will say like my emphasis is not going to really be on makeup, because if I'm being like completely honest with you guys, I have more than enough makeup. I have so much makeup, like I'm to the brim with makeup, and I do not need any more makeup. So the kinds of brands that I'm going to be like incorporating are brands that are not ones that I'm going to be buying once and then that's, you know, all my support that I give them for 2 years. So I'm going to be looking into Black-owned coffee roasters and like stuff like that. Like that's something that I buy on a regular basis, and if I could just shift who I'm buying from to like a Black-owned company, that could be like a huge deal, because I buy like 1 to 2 bags of coffee a month. So that's like something pretty consistently that I can do when I am not going to be in quarantine anymore. I'm definitely going to be looking into going to Black-owned coffee shops. I feel like before this movement it was like pretty hard to find businesses that were Black-owned. I would look up online and I really couldn't find that much, but what's really cool now is that a lot of companies are coming forward and saying like, yes, we are Black-owned, and that's giving people more of an opportunity to support them, which is great. So there's a lot of Black-owned coffee shops in my area, and if I'm out and about, usually like I try not to buy coffee and if I'm out, but if I like do go out, sometimes I'll go to like Starbucks because it's there and they have like soy milk and stuff. But I'm going to be making like a conscious effort if I'm out anyway and I'm going to be buying coffee anyway, let's walk a couple blocks this way and, you know, let's go to a Black-owned coffee shop. Of course that's not going to be like the case 100% of the time, but I am going to make like a pretty good effort into supporting stuff like that. Also like Black-owned restaurants, even if I have to like go out of the way a little bit. I have supported like so many Latinx owned businesses in Los Angeles since I've lived here, and I would love to support Black-owned restaurants. I don't go to like a restaurant that often, but when I do want to go to a restaurant, I would love to go to one like maybe every couple of months, and just taking shifts like that and like looking at what I can do in the long term, not like a little band-aid. Like obviously I have donated, a ton of people have donated, and I just want my support to be more than, oh, I need a red lipstick, so I'm going to buy this red lipstick one time, which is good, but like for me, it's maybe not the most feasible thing. Something that I did want to mention during this part of the video that I forgot is I have not really been buying any makeup. I don't think that I have bought any makeup since 2019. So buying makeup from Black-owned brands, it's definitely going to be something that I do in the future, but like right now, I'm like trying to use what I have in my collection first before I go and buy from other brands. So if I am in need of a concealer or something like that, yes, I am going to look into and try something from a Black-owned brand, but I just don't think it's the best idea for me financially and also like environmentally when I already have so much makeup and I do receive like a decent amount of makeup in PR. I just don't think that it's like the best idea to just go and buy more makeup. I also want to say that if you don't know, if you guys are interested in buying makeup, skincare, hair care, etc., Logical Harmony has a full list on her blog now of Black-owned beauty brands that are cruelty-free, and a lot of them have vegan options, if not completely vegan, so I will leave that list down below. I'll also leave some links down below where you guys can sign petitions, where you guys can donate if you want to donate or if you have the funds to donate. If you don't, I'll also leave some more resources for you guys to check out. And also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, like I have been posting on my stories almost every day, and of course I've needed to take like a couple of breaks for myself and just kind of like log off the internet and then watch some kind of documentary, and like even though I'm still like doing anti-racist work by educating myself further. And if you guys don't know, also I do have my degree, my bachelor's degree. I have a joint major in gender studies and African American studies, so I have done a lot of educating myself. So before anyone wants to come to me and like tell me that I just am ignorant in my beliefs and I need to be educated, I paid $16,000 to be educated, so thank you so much. Also, if you are not a type of person to believe that you are oppressed in any way. Okay, I have had to come on here far too many times to try to clarify what I'm saying while editing, but if you are a white straight man, obviously that's not who I'm talking about in this video. If you are a white straight man, obviously you have not been oppressed. Check out, there is a checklist of, not a checklist, but like an article about white privilege. Please check that out, because likely you have not faced any oppression due to your race, skin color, sexuality, gender. If you are a white straight man. If you are a woman and you think like, I'm not oppressed, I am an anti-feminist or something, like there's no obviously changing your mind. That's just not the way that I would say a majority of people feel. I feel like most people, obviously if like women weren't oppressed, we would not be facing as many issues as we were, and if Black people didn't feel like they were oppressed, they would not be calling out racism. So I also want to tell you guys to go follow accounts on Twitter and Instagram. Please diversify your feed so you can be exposed, especially like I know for me, I'm from a really small town and it's like 96% white people. So growing up, I did not see like anyone else who didn't look like me. Going to college and whatnot really like changed my day-to-day like perspective on things. I did go to like classes and I was the only white person in several of my classes, and a lot of people can't say, if you're white, you can't say that that is something that happens often, because I think I had like 2 or 3 classes where I was the only white person in the class. But yeah, diversify your feed, not only like, as I was saying, not only to like show yourself, like you need to be able to see people and like relate to them, and then also like listen and like read the words that they're typing out or listen to the words that they're saying in videos, and then really just taking those words and learning from them. But yeah, it's really important to learn from people who are speaking. And honestly, if you are not following people of color or people from the LGBT community, you're not going to really understand their struggles, but also like know what the right thing to do is, because there's a lot of things that I have learned that I would not have ever even thought about, and it's because people that I follow are speaking up about things that bother them in not only like the beauty community but the whole world. So I think it's really important to like constantly be like, if we're gonna be looking on our phone anyway, like just follow some people who you can potentially learn from, and I will leave some of my favorite accounts down below. So yeah, that is, I guess, the end of this video. It was kind of all over the place, I know, and I did write out like a little outline of what I wanted to talk about, but I think that my brain has just been so all over the place lately because of everything that has been going on, like not only the past few weeks but the past few months. My brain is just so scatterbrained. So I hope that you guys understand my point of view and why the vegan community should be talking about Black Lives Matter. And even if you have like 1 follower, or even if you have 1,000,000 followers, I don't think that it really matters. I think that we all have a voice, and we all should be using our voices right now to be talking about these issues. I just want to clarify that I'm not saying that we should be speaking for oppressed groups, including right now during the Black Lives Matter movement. We should not be speaking for Black people, but we should instead be listening and uplifting their voices, sharing their voices, but not speaking for them. And I also I know that there's a lot of people out there who are in the vegan community who are doing really great things, and I just want to take a second to appreciate you guys for going out and being in marches and protests and donating money and signing petitions. People have been doing so much. I know that a lot of people have been doing a lot, and maybe I shouldn't even be focusing on the small like 1% of people who are saying that they're not going to be talking about Black Lives Matter and about other social justice issues, but I just felt like it was important, and if I wasn't going to say it, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else would come and say anything. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and thank you for listening.